She drinks,
she smokes.
Exactly.
It's
She
like
dances the hoochie coo.
She lives with a man that's not her husband.
it was so puritanical
Jesus.
then.
So, hello.
Hello. Welcome to this episode of What the Flicks podcast. This would be episode number 73. Ooh.
Part one.
Part one. Okay, so the movies that we're going to be looking at. Oh, my name is Susan Ayers.
I'm Patty Smith.
Adelan Shima.
Jorge Sanchez.
Bob Nick Shields.
Yes, there you go. So the movies that we're going to be looking at in this episode are The Grey, No Hard Feelings, Mr. Holmes, Wicked Little Letters, and Burning. So,
And we're back.
wow, that was pretty
That was
weak,
bad.
George.
That was bad, George.
Well, it's
I
not
don't
him,
have
it's the
my hearing
microphone's
aid.
I'm fading
fault.
away.
The microphone's been drinking,
I'm fading.
clearly.
Yeah, that's right. This microphone's drunk.
Get it, Sue.
Okay, so now we're on,
Long.
well, we're back, and we're on lawn.
Okay, yes. My film is Wicked Little Letters, film directed by this Thea Shamrock. And it was written by Johnny Sweet.
Shamrock?
That's what I have. Shamrock? Is
I
that
think
not
it's
the name?
Shattuck or so.
Whoever. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Let me see. Or Sharrock.
Shattuck,
Sharrock. Sorry
Yes.
about that.
Sounds Irish to me.
Yep.
And the only reason I sort of want to see it because Johnny Sweet was one of the writers and he's an actor I know. So it's like, oh, okay. Or not personally, just happen to know who he was. And it turned out that he had a small, tiny part in this movie too. But the movie starts out with, I'm sorry, Olivia Coleman being one of my favorite actresses,
too.
right, of current times now. For the past at least 15 years, I've just found her fascinating. But she's playing this woman who lives with her parents. She takes after her parents. She's middle-aged, in case you don't know who she is. And they live next door to this Irish woman, who's this rambunctious Irish woman who has a young daughter, probably around 8, around that, and living with a boyfriend. So,
Not the daughter.
well, all three of them are living
really.
together, yes. The daughter, Jessie Buckley plays the young Irish woman.
Right, I'm saying the daughter is not
Yeah.
living with her boyfriend.
We all knew that.
But they all three of them are living together. But what's interesting though is that if you don't remember, Jessie Buckley played the younger version of Olivia Coleman in
Yes.
The Lost Daughter,
That's started, yeah.
which we didn't do that movie, but we did it for the Oscars because they were both
Right.
nominated.
They
Yeah,
play the same character.
She played her on that?
She played the
Jessie
young.
Buckley played the young
the
version
young
of her.
I
Right.
know it. I would never
Yeah,
know that.
and then yeah, but so
fact-
what happens is what? Oh, sorry. What happens is that Olivia Coleman's character starts getting these letters that are just like poison pen letters that are just basically filthy words written to her describing her character or whatever.
But she's a goody
Disparaging.
two shoes.
Well, there's the thing. This is sort of post-World War II London, and it's also during, at which they like to point out, during the suffragette movement as
Right.
well.
Yeah.
And these two things play, I think, very important parts into the
Yes.
characters,
Yes.
in my opinion. So her father wonderfully played by Timothy Spall,
Yeah.
and her mother's Gemma Jones, two great British
Yeah.
actors. They finally said, this is horrible. You have to take it to police. So the police get involved. And of course, everyone just points to her next door neighbor, who Olivia Coleman seems not to have any beef with. Just the fact that she's rather crude as compared to her kind of lifestyle, this
God-loving
Christian,
upbringing.
exactly. Where men were men and women were women, right? In their place, kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? So, and again, Jessie Buckley, I think, is just wonderful in this role. She's
She's good.
lively, funny character, and Olivia Coleman playing uptight and fastidious.
Pious.
Exactly.
Pious.
Wonderful. They're just so good at their roles. This, to me, is the crux of the entire movie. Now, as the plot goes along, other things develop, because that's another thing about this movie that made me sort of scratch my head at a couple points. One was a female police constable who alone at the time is one thing. The fact that she happened to also be of Indian descent even was a bigger shocker to me. And also later on, a spoiler, there's a black judge, an African American or Jamaican or something judge.
Right.
That sort of surprised me.
Well, I
right?
don't think that's so unusual in England.
Well, of that time,
Because
World
remember
Post
there's
World War One.
the Caribbean is part of the Commonwealth.
Yeah,
Most
but
of them are
remember
not.
the
But
time
I,
period.
also-
I don't think that's
Yeah, so he wouldn't have been African American.
But also-
No, that's what I said. That's what I said. But could have been, because could have been from Nigeria, could have been,
Yes.
as all this is going through. So you have the detectives coming in, immediately accuse the girl, next door neighbor, Jessie Buckley's character. In fact, I guess I should start using their character names, right? So
Rose.
let's see. Okay, Rose. Thank you. Very Irish name, right?
Oh yeah.
Wild,
Yeah.
wild.
And Olivia Coleman plays Edith Swan. Okay. And so, but one of the detectives, the female detective, played by this Anjana Vasan.
the
I don't
woman
think-
police constable Gladys Moss.
See, that's what makes me laugh, is that she kept saying woman police officer because that's how she was always told to do it, right? That she had to put that in said. But yeah, Gladys Moss's character, she is actually recognizing that there's something wrong with what's going on. She's recognized like, well, are you sure you want to investigate? And she's put down by whom? Of course, all the white men that are there. Basically, and even the guy who's the head of the department is basically telling her, your father even knew he just did what he was told,
Right.
which tells you again about that superiority that I sort of thought was interesting. But as the story goes along, it sort of develops, and halfway through the story, maybe some people get it, some people don't, that the tone begins to change, in my opinion. At first, it starts off with this comedy, then it turns out to this weird, dark, psychological
Right.
comedy. Because all of a sudden you realize, no, this is pretty serious. I mean, she has a daughter. She's going to lose a daughter if she goes to prison. She's going to be sent to prison for 2.5 months before the trial happens.
Right.
And then even people around in the village itself are saying, well, no, we don't think she's like that. And I have to admit that seeing the character right off the bat, I didn't think she was, only because the way Jessie Buckley plays it, like I said, so wonderfully, this woman would just yell obscenities to your face.
Face,
She
right.
does not have to hide behind a letter.
Right.
She would say that to your face. She'd be obscene. She'd say horrible things to you if she felt that way.
Well, they're
know?
basing it on the kind of person she is. They're not really basing
Right,
it
her
on
character.
anything. Yeah,
Exactly.
like they all
Right.
did then, and probably still do
Exactly.
today. Because she's outgoing, she's loud.
But also she's
And-
Irish. And
Well,
they're
she's
kind of
Irish,
and they
exactly.
They kind
She
of look
drinks.
down on the Irish.
She
She
drinks,
drinks,
she
you know.
smokes.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like
She dances the hoochie coo.
And then
She lives with
Yeah.
a man that's not her husband.
Yeah, it was so puritanical
Jesus.
then.
So that's what the entire movie basically is about. And
Yeah.
I don't really think it's much of a mystery kind of movie.
I was surprised.
But it is sort of a caper movie at one point, because some of the women get together and decide, oh, we want to put together our own investigation,
Yeah.
because they start receiving letters. In
Right.
fact, that's when things get out of hand. All of a sudden, other people are receiving letters. So finally they figure, yeah, we have to get rid of this woman, and she's the only one. I thought it was actually just a fun, entertaining, light movie.
Great
I didn't
movie.
think it was very deep or anything, but as for what I saw on the screen, it wasn't even as touching as The Beautiful Game. But as I was saying earlier about journeys, this really is about these two women who have a personal journey. And again, like No Hard Feelings, it's not some one, two of them are going on a journey, because at the end of the journey, Jessie Buckley's character does something at the end that I really was delighted to see, because it had to do with being a mother, and right? Obviously being a daughter on the Olivia Coleman, the Edith Swan character. What she had to go through, first of all, you think this and that, and then what she put, like the father, he seemed to be of the ilk, because he does mention he lost 2 sons in World War II. And the fact
Yeah.
that he thought, because the way people were behaving now, that they were just why did my sons have to die for trash like this kind
Yeah.
of thing, or this type
He's
of
such a
behavior?
snob.
Yeah, it's sort of funny.
The
So,
suffragette movement. He's like, what are they doing?
well, not even the suffragette,
No.
just. I think you're right, especially about because I think the comment was made at Gladys Moss, right? If I'm not mistaken, the like I said, female constable of Gladys Moss. But it's sort of a fascinating little movie. I think the performances are what made it. To be
Oh,
quite honest, for me
absolutely.
personally. But you know, I don't know what you know. Other great actors that I thought were in it were Hugh Skinner playing the young constable, Eileen Atkins, of course, great character actress, Tim Key playing the vicar.
Right.
You know, he and Johnny Sweet were in a show that I used to listen to, and that's why I thought, oh, it's going to be funny. And it wasn't as funny I was hoping for because this actually is based on a true incident.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right.
you
That's
know,
right.
But again, I don't know what to. I don't know if I could highly recommend and say you'll like it, but I just thought this was a fun little British movie, you know, and I would recommend seeing it.
George.
No, me, I thought this movie was brilliant.
No,
It's
Me
just
too.
the writing is. It reminded me of a Coen Brothers movie, like a Brother Where
Yes.
Thou,
Mm.
where the dialogue was just so clever, so funny, and also like it seems to be the theme of this episode, which is about growth, and this movie is
Exactly.
about Edith's growth. I think I thought that Edith, she has a very she's really controlled by her father, who's very religious. Who Timothy Spall is brilliant in this movie.
He's great.
Mhm.
His character says, brilliant, and she, I thought she was jealous of Rose
Yeah.
oh, of
because
course.
she wanted to be her
Freedom.
She loved her freedom. She loved,
Exactly.
this is somebody that's acting a certain way that I wish I could do that, but I can't. And then she, deals with her anger or issues a certain way, without being a spoiler.
Yeah.
But so yeah, they just start writing I thought the movie was in a way I thought it was a mystery, like the classic
okay.
British mysteries. The mystery is who's writing these letters, and they're gonna find out who is doing it. I thought the cast was brilliant. All the different players. I like the Indian constable, the police woman officer. What is she
Yes.
is? What's her name?
That Anjana Vasan.
Yeah, I thought she was great. She
Yeah.
was really funny, and also like the characters that she's. The other characters are really too. The different ladies that when they go and play together.
Right,
But-
right, exactly. Yes.
So it's I thought it was, to me, I really enjoyed it. That was like a brilliant movie.
Well, it's interesting because I had heard nothing about this movie, and we had just reviewed The Beautiful Game, which was directed by the same woman, and I really wanted to see what else she was going to do. And it turned out that this movie that she Dirty Little Words or Wicked Little Letters was playing at the Grove, which is
Really?
a local movie theater.
Yeah.
So I said, "Well, I'm going." And I got my friend, and of course, what happened was I got over there, and I can't understand anything anybody's saying on the screen, and I fell asleep.
That's why I don't go to movies. It has to be
I
word caption.
I can't
Word
do it in movie
caption,
theaters. Yeah. And so I don't know. I mean, I liked what I saw, except I was really disturbed by how sick Timothy Spall looked, and apparently he had been
Yeah,
ill.
he did. Yeah.
And,
You know what's funny? I didn't think he looked sick. I just thought, wow, he's lost a lot of weight.
No,
He's got the
he-
cancer
he-
look. He's got that cancer.
It was not
look.
cancer, but
No.
he was sick with something for a long time.
Wow.
But because Timothy Spall has never given anything less than a brilliant performance to me. He's one of the
Yeah.
greatest actors of all time.
He's great.
And I like Olivia Coleman. I don't go crazy about her the way so many other people do, but I think she's a really fine actress. Jessie Buckley I was not familiar with. But I really wanted to see what this director did, and it's so different from The Beautiful Game, which I loved. And maybe I liked The Beautiful Game because it was more, as Lon had mentioned earlier, it was like a Ted Lasso-y type thing. It was just an uplifting thing.
And more emotional. It's
yeah,
more
and this was
emotional.
more
Cathartic.
drab. The setting was drab. It was like, working class London at the war, everything. But it was, I can't, I can't say I liked it because I slept through it, but I now that we're sitting here talking about it again, like it's on Netflix, I think, so I'll
You
watch
should
it
definitely
again.
watch it.
I definitely do want to watch it again.
Captions. That's the way
Oh,
I'll watch
absolutely, I have to. That's why I do it.
it. Because it gets really good.
It used to be to me that like the whole thrill of going to movies was you'd go to this big cavernous place, and it was like Radio City Music Hall and places like that. And it was really an event, but now it's like, I don't want to go to see a movie there because they record the dialogue on the same track as the special effects, and I cannot understand anything anybody's saying now. Apparently over at the Grove, they will have like one show a week with subtitles.
Yes.
And
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and this was just like it was playing one more day, and I got my friend to go see it, and so we both had trouble understanding what they were talking about, but I'm just leaving the door open because I do want to see it again, and I want to see anything that director makes.
Sue?
Okay. This is another clinic by an amazing actress, Olivia Coleman. And I never appreciated Olivia Coleman so much as in this movie because, and the director, Thea Sharrock, because the whole movie was her struggling. It was basically a close-up of her struggling, suppression of this inner stuff that's going on inside her, right? I mean, the whole movie
Her
was
facial expressions were so
and
brilliant.
just, it was amazing. She's constantly struggling to control
her emotions.
whatever is going
Yeah.
on
To
in
be,
there.
to be correct.
A lot
Exactly,
of
yes.
a lot of close-ups of something inside her is struggling to be released, and you are both repelled and amazed by it. Jessie Buckley, I always love Jessie Buckley. She is always excellent as a Rose Gooding, who is a single mother, Irish, struggling
Live.
as a free spirit living in a very confined time. Edith is constantly, she is so, Rose is everything she would like to be, everything she likes. And her whole thing is, I hate her and I love her. I need to destroy her.
And I envy her.
And that's all in
Yeah.
her face. That's all in her face. Jessie's lack of control is her worst enemy. It's her most destructive trait.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, she has no fight within herself. She is pretty much who she is. And she...
See, that's where I disagree. I think she has a problem and it has to do with the daughter. That's why there's
Right.
a
Well, she
really
has-
major thing at
yes,
the end
it
with
is
the
a
daughter.
problem, but it's an
Yeah.
exterior problem. It's not an interior problem.
Oh, see, I think it is.
Okay.
I think it's both.
Yeah.
Okay.
One reflects the other anyway.
Okay. Other than that, Edith hates her. She also loves her.
Yeah.
She must destroy her. This is actually, but actually, it's a very funny movie. It's very funny.
It is funny.
Based on a true story, the almost saintly patient Gladys Moss and Jana Vasan. Let me get that correct. Jana Vasan is her badge says woman police constable Gladys Moss. It actually says that. But this is it is a movie about women, and it's about women in a certain time.
But it's also a movie about women without telling you it's a movie about women.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank God for that.
Yeah,
'cause I never
exactly.
would've
Yes.
watched it.
Yes.
It's
And made by a woman.
and made by and the director is a woman, but they never go into that. That's really not
That's
it.
talent.
Right.
That's true talent.
No, it's just it. Women are really wonderful. I don't think you have to.
No,
Shove
what I'm
it down your
saying
throat.
is
I don't think
Right.
you have to.
they
shout
don't
it.
No,
say
exactly.
it's a
You know?
woke movie.
No.
It just is
It-
without being called that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they work together as women do, right, to find a solution. And I just, and funny enough, the ending of the movie, which you could think of as a negative, I think is very liberating
Yes,
for
me too.
Edith as she gets out of her situation.
Oh, very much so. Yes.
You know, and the father, who is
Timothy's
Paul.
Timothy's, okay, he's amazing.
Yeah.
He's
Such a
as
beast.
amazing as Olivia Coleman because his character is as intense as hers.
Exactly. Yes.
And then the mother, Gemma Jones,
yes.
is also wonderful. They are, Gemma Jones is like, I don't know, the perfect of the time, the perfect.
Right, because she's the frail, like I said, very pious. She gets upset when she even hears those bad words being
Right.
said. I
Yes.
mean, really upset.
Yeah.
So that's how she is, you know.
But also,
Yeah.
even though being that way, she's aware of how her husband is.
Yes.
Like, you see
She
this
is.
moment,
Oh, yes.
There's moments when she holds her silence, but I almost felt like she doesn't agree with him, but she
Oh
holds her
yeah,
silence.
she holds her tongue
Because
exactly,
that's what you did
and
at
you
that
see it in her
time.
face.
Yeah.
Again, same
As
thing. You
opposed
see
to
it in
Rose,
her face.
who
Yeah.
never holds her tongue,
yeah.
and Edith, who wishes she could say
Yeah.
stuff, because it almost remember the movie that I love, like Water for Chocolate.
Hmm.
Remember, the oldest daughter has to stay behind and take care of the parents.
The
Right.
which is
youngest
the
daughter.
same
Youngest.
The
thing.
youngest daughter, right? Yeah.
Youngest daughter.
Well, was
Remember?
it the youngest?
Yes,
and this
the
one,
youngest daughter.
she's the oldest because she had 17
She's the
children.
oldest, exactly. She's the
Yeah.
oldest, which surprised me.
She's the
of
oldest
that,
because
yeah.
she had 17 children.
Right.
That
Was it
lady.
7? Oh God, I knew it was a lot. I didn't know it was
Yeah,
17.
17.
Damn.
So you're
guess
saying
she
I
stopped
have a
counting after
chance?
11.
but that was the same situation
Yes,
where one
exactly.
of the children has
Right.
to stay behind,
Right,
not marry, and take care of the
parents,
Right.
right?
right? So it was really a time period movie. They did it great, and I never appreciated Olivia Coleman as much as I did in this movie. It was just
Really?
It was
Wow.
basically the close-ups of her face. The one time when she, remember in the court where
Yeah.
Rose, they're kind of showing evidence. No, remember, against Rose, and it seems to be
Bad.
working. And her face, that smile.
The little curve.
Oh my God, it was like the most brilliant thing I ever
It's
saw.
so subtle, yet it's
Yes.
so
Oh,
effective.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
so brilliant that I was like, okay, I really get why Olivia Coleman is amazing. And all these
Yeah.
actors, because I watch Midsummer Murders.
Yes,
All
she
these
Yes,
actors-
exactly. Show up.
All
Yeah.
these actors I have seen in Midsummer Murders. They're just fantastic.
Well, two
They're like old friends.
well, two actors in the movie have their own separate series. One is
Yeah.
they're both detectives. You know,
There
so
you
yeah,
go.
they-
Yeah.
Okay, Patty.
I think this movie is friggin' brilliant. I do.
Wow.
And I wasn't looking forward to watching it, except I do like Olivia Coleman. It has a million subjects in it, all about your dark self, your dark. Like Rose is Edith's dark side, and vice versa. And Edith, she's so pious, and she's so restricted in her life, and you get the contrast beside Rose is just so much more evident. It's you just want to go let it loose and tell that father of yours to fuck off, right? But in an odd way, through playing those two out, they free each other.
Mhm,
And that's what I
exactly.
love
That's
about
how I saw
I
it
think
too.
this
Yes.
movie's brilliant.
I thought it was brilliant
Wow.
too.
Hey, should we do our thing?
Yeah, that
Well,
would
wait.
be
No, for me, it's like, it's a 10.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just
10.
yeah.
10.
I give it a 6.
shame on you.
There's more
Shame
letters.
on you.
You know,
Okay.
there
We'll be-
is 7, 8,
we'll be
9,
back.
10.
Okay.
We'll be back.
So that ends it for this week.
No, we got one more,
Yeah.
don't we?
Yeah, but that
And we
ends
will-
it for this week,
Oh.
and it's on Netflix.
Let me change my
Yes,
shirt.
Rick and Red Letters
Let
on
me change my
Netflix.
shirt for next week.
You don't need to.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll be back.
We're back.
Sorry about that.